welcome to the Astrology Kitchen. I'm Liliana, and today we're going to be continuing our series from the cosmos to the kitchen. And in this series, I'm going to be covering each zodiac sign, starting with Aries, then Taurus, Gemini, and go right around the belt until we get to Pisces. And we're going to be covering one sign per episode, where I'm going to be talking about the energy and the feelings of the moon in that sign. And then we'll go into my kitchen and prepare a healthy, delicious dish or beverage that goes with those feelings for the moon in that sign. So in the last episode, we covered the moon in Aries. And in this episode, we're going to be talking about the moon in Taurus. So what are the feelings and emotions that go with the moon in Taurus? So first of all, it's important to note that Taurus is an earth sign. So being an earth sign, the feeling associated with Taurus is often literally a feeling of feeling down to earth. And Taurus is associated, therefore, with being grounded. Taurus energy and feelings are often associated with enjoying all of the luxuries and pleasures of life, of the earth, of life on this earth. So all of the earthly pleasures. That's why Taurus is often associated with enjoying your home, all of the luxuries and maybe things that you value that you have around you in your home. Taurus is also associated with the feeling of enjoying food. It has a great sense of a feeling of enjoying smells and tastes and just food and beverages. And like I said before, all of the earthly pleasures. So often when the moon is in Taurus, you might feel like cozying up at home. Taurus is also associated with sensual pleasures. So when the moon is in Taurus, you might feel like cozying up at home with your loved one and preparing a nice dish for your loved one or for yourself. And remember to give love to yourself too. So it could be a great time to prepare a healthy, delicious dish at home. And what better way to end a wonderful meal than with a delicious, scrumptious, decadent chocolate lava cake. So that's what we're going to be making today, a delicious chocolate lava cake in my kitchen. So let's go make one. Okay, so we're ready to make our delicious chocolate lava cake. So the first thing I've done is I've measured out a 1/3 cup of flour. Oh, and I didn't mention, this is a gluten-free chocolate lava cake, and I'm using Bob's Red Hill hazelnut flour. You could use any type of flour, regular or gluten-free. I prefer gluten-free always. And this hazelnut I'm really enjoying because it has that nice nutty taste. So there's a 1/3 cup of that, and then we're gonna measure out 1/2 cup of sugar. And staying with making this dessert healthier, we're using coconut sugar, which I'm really enjoying these days as well. So we're gonna measure out 1/2 cup of coconut sugar and just mix it in with our flour. So just 1/2 cup. So I've measured out 1/2 cup. There's 1/2 cup of coconut sugar. And then what we're gonna do is we need 3 eggs for this recipe. So we're gonna mix 3 eggs up. So we're gonna mix it in our bowl here. So 3 eggs coming right up. And then with the eggs, I'm gonna measure in a teaspoon of vanilla. And actually, I'm gonna put like another 1/2 teaspoon in there. You can never have too much vanilla, right? So there's our vanilla. And then we're just gonna mix that up. So this is just the eggs and vanilla. I'm mixing up eggs and vanilla. I'm gonna beat those together. And then the next step is we're going to measure out 6 ounces of semi-sweet baking chocolate. So 6 ounces. There we have it, 6 ounces. And then I'm going to put this into this metal bowl, stainless bowl that I like to use. Put all of our chocolate morsels in there. And then we are going to put in, with the chocolate, we're going to put in a 1/4 cup of butter. So I really like using these bars that actually have it marked on there. So a 1/4 cup of butter, it's about half a bar. And we're going to take half a bar of butter. And we're going to put that into, and mix that into our chocolate. And I'm going to put that aside for a moment. So we have our flour with the coconut, our hazelnut flour with the coconut sugar here. We have the eggs with the vanilla right here. And then we're going to take this bar of butter and we're going to coat the ramekin. So we have these cute little ramekins. And we are going to coat the ramekin with some butter. So I just kind of peel back the paper. I'm sure there's different ways you could do this. I'm going to peel back this paper and take the butter and just literally coat it. Just the edges. Just put a little bit of butter in there. Coat the bottom really well. There we go. So we have that one ready. And this recipe is good for 4. So 4 ramekins of this size. So we're going to coat these. There we go. I like to coat the sides and the bottom of the ramekin. So that's what it looks like coated. And we're going to do this one. There we go. Coat, coat, coat. All coated. And then the lids we could just put aside because we don't actually need the lids for this recipe. I'm just going to put them aside. So there we have 4 ramekins coated. And then what we're going to do is we are going to take some dark cocoa, just regular dark cocoa drinking chocolate. And the one I'm using is called Equal Exchange, and it's just regular dark cocoa. And I'm going to coat the ramekin inside. Now you want to get another basin just to catch the excess. So you see what it looks like. And then it looks like that. So you have a coated ramekin. It had the butter first and then the cocoa. So there's one. And then we have one more. So we're going to use the excess that fell out of the others and coat our last one. Just like that. Yum! I can smell the chocolate. Can't wait to have one of these. I think I'm going to have one of these with my afternoon chai tea. And there we have it. And now the next step is we want to take the chocolate morsels and the butter and we're going to melt it over the stove. And a good way to melt this is to get a small pot and fill it with water. Or actually, I do about a quarter way with water. And then we're going to take this over to the stove. You literally put the the steel bowl. Don't do this with plastic. Take a steel bowl and put it on top. And we're going to take this over to the stove and just put it at low heat and slowly melt the chocolate morsels and the butter. Okay, so we brought over our chocolate morsels and butter. And right now, I'm just slowly melting these. So it'll take just a couple minutes for all of this to melt. You can see it's starting to melt, but we want to give it a few minutes. And then it'll slowly melt into a really nice, kind of smooth, textured chocolate mix. So we're going to bring it over here to our other ingredients. And I set it down on a wooden plate here so that make sure you don't burn anything, because this ramekin is pretty hot. So now what we're going to do is mix in our eggs that have the mixture of eggs and vanilla. And we're going to mix it into the chocolate. So we're mixing that up. Really well. And then we're going to slowly fold in our mix of. So you want to do this pretty quick so that everything is nicely put together before the eggs or the chocolate begin to set. So then you literally just fold this in just by mixing it. And in the meantime, we've heated up our oven. I have it heating at 325 degrees. So I'm folding in the sugar and the flour. So now we're going to add the rest here. So we folded that in, and now we have just a thicker, gooey, yummy chocolate mixture. So once you feel like that's all well mixed together, we're going to pour this into our 4 ramekins. So we're just about ready to do that. I think that looks pretty good. We'll bring these over here. And now we start to just pour these in. And there we go. This one looks like it needs a little more. Maybe our first one needs a little more. Yum! This looks pretty good. So it's just about enough for 4 ramekins. I think that's it. I'm gonna try this. Yum. Delicious. So now what we're gonna do, we have the oven that was preheated to 325, and I'm gonna pop these in the oven and they'll be ready in literally 11 minutes. So one little thing I like to do is to plop a little bit of creme fraiche right on top. A little bit of creme fraiche. There we go. And it's ideal to serve these right out of the oven. And then we're going to do a little special thing with that one. You have the ideal dessert for that night you want to stay at home, or maybe for a dinner party. Delicious. I think I'm ready to have one with some tea. So with this one, we're actually going to turn it upside down and have a nice flowing lava cake. And voila.
Still stuck.
There it is. So we're going to do a little bit of cream. There we go. So let's see what this tastes like. Wow. Look at that gooey, yummy. Yum! So join us next week, and we're going to be making a delicious coconut rice. And we're going to be talking about the moon in Gemini. And remember to follow us on Instagram. And you can find this recipe for the chocolate lava cake on the Instagram account at Astrology Kitchen, and I'll put the link down below. Thank you for joining us today. See you next week.